Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome all of you to the Marketing and Branding panel, where Crystal, Felicity, Nikki, and Avery will offer tips and insights into getting your name and your work seen by more eyeballs. So, I'm Zoe, the moderator for this panel. And before we get started, I'd like to remind our viewers that if you'd like a chance to win a prize pack of Wattpad coins, good for unlocking paid stories, write the phrase "We Thrive Together" into the chat. Now, to begin, let's ask Crystal which social media platforms seems to be the most effective for marketing stories. Crystal?
Right now, the most effective is going to be TikTok. TikTok has a thriving community of readers, which is really important. When we look at things like Twitter or Facebook, we're really looking at growing a community with other writers. But TikTok has just like hit this new level of reaching readers, which is really exciting because they're interacting and they're taking our stories and they're sharing them with more people.
That TikTok has really blown up. And Nikki, how about for you? Which platform seems to be working for you?
Yeah, so I definitely agree with Crystal in that, like, I think that short form videos are really working the best for me right now, but they actually perform the best for me on Pinterest. So I usually will make videos on TikTok and then I repurpose them for Instagram Reels and Pinterest. And one of my tips is to really repurpose your content, work smarter, not harder. and I find that it's easiest to get discovered on Pinterest. It's a search engine, so you need to try and use keywords in your pin titles and descriptions. And on Pinterest, my best tip would be to use idea pins, where you can have a short video on like the first slide of it, and then have a couple photos, like 5 to 10, following with. You could put a snippet of your story, and then at the end you could put a call to action to go check out your book on Wattpad and read more. And but just as like a caveat, just because I use Pinterest, it doesn't mean it'll be the best platform for you. You know, I think a great tip is to go where you think your target market is on social media. Like Crystal was saying, maybe that's TikTok, maybe that's Pinterest, maybe that's Instagram. So it just depends on that as well.
Yeah, it really varies for each person. How about Felicity? What social media platforms seem the best for you?
Crystal and I are a team, so TikTok is what we're using most often here lately. TikTok is huge. If you are an author and you're not on BookTok, you should be, especially if you're an indie author. It's huge right now. You can take anything that you do on TikTok and you can put it on Instagram, which is what we do. We'll make it for reels or just putting it on your story or post on your page. It's phenomenal. I can't tell you the influence it has over our stories. For example, we just posted a new story on Wattpad back in August. And actually, not even, no, it was October. We just posted it. And we've already got 6,000 reads on it from posting about it on TikTok. It's not been featured. It's not anywhere near complete. And we're posting about it on TikTok and it's getting reads. Like, it's a crazy amount of reads. And it's because of TikTok. I'm telling you, you have to join. And even if you don't want to show your face, even if you don't want to act goofy, even if you don't, which I do, so sorry in advance if you're on our TikTok, but even if you don't want to do all that, just putting quotes, like Nikki, you do an awesome job of putting sections of your story on TikTok for people to read and getting them hooked and going to your page. That's good too. All of that, just use TikTok. I can't express it enough. It's really important.
So bottom line is use TikTok, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
In case you didn't get that point.
Yeah.
All right. Avery, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think like everyone said, TikTok's definitely like an emerging thing and it's become more and more of a thing. I think it depends on your goals too. Like I personally, Instagram is still my favorite, even though maybe it's not the best for like new discoverability. I find it's a really good way to connect with my existing readers. And just like the still form graphics is just a little more natural for me. So that's where I gravitate to. But yeah, it depends on your goals. Like TikTok is definitely a great place to try to get out there and find new readers. I think Instagram's nice if you want to engage with your existing community. And like they said, Twitter is really great about the writing community itself, especially if you're pursuing traditional publication. Like that's definitely a great resource of information as well. So it just depends on what exactly you're trying to accomplish. I think it's nice to diversify too and be on a couple platforms. I mean, ideally, you don't want to spread your focus too thin, but if you can pick 2 or 3 and do them well, I think that's probably the way to go.
That's good advice. So now that we have a good idea of which platforms we should be using, what are some tips for successfully building your brand while maintaining physical anonymity, like somebody brought up earlier. Nikki is one of those authors that does not show her face, and you can totally do social media. So, Nikki, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm totally on a bunch of social medias and I don't show my face like you're saying. And my best tip would really to be to let your personality shine through your words and with your branding. I'd say I'm a pretty bubbly person, so I picked bright colors and fonts that pop. And so I try to make sure all of my social media stays consistent with that, and everything I write on social media has like a friendly conversational tone because that's my personality. I also really try to talk one-on-one with my readers and get to know them in like comments and messages, since they can't see my face and things like that. So I think that no matter what any algorithm's doing, or if your book's featured, or if you show your face or not, I think the best way to grow is to really build a community and build connections with people. I think when you really focus on people, on that community, it doesn't matter if you're showing your face or not, which is kind of cheesy, but I think like just building that community is a great way to do that, and you can do that with your face or not.
Yeah, that is true. Did anyone else have anything else to say about this topic? Because the next topic is a much bigger one, but anyone else have something they want to chime in?
I do.
Okay.
And using
Oh, you
Nikki
do?
as
Go.
I do. Using Nikki as the example, what Nikki has done really, really well is that she has found a color scheme, especially with the pinks and the bright oranges, that she carries through on all her social media. It's on her Wattpad, it is on her Twitter, it is on her TikTok. So when you see Nikki, she's really done a great job of branding herself with just her logo. So to find those colors and stick with them, even her posts on Instagram, they feature those colors. She does like Wattpad tips and they will come up, and immediately, I don't even need to look at the name to know that I'm looking at something from Nikki Pierce. So really think about that in what you're going to continue to carry along, since there's not a face to go along with your content. There needs to be something that really, really hooks the readers to think this is you. And like I said, go look at Nikki. Even her website follows that same color scheme. It's just throughout everything. And now when I see those things, they're associated with her.
Thanks, Crystal. You said that so eloquently.
Thank you.
All right, so let's move on to strategies for succeeding on social media. This is something that everybody wants to know. How do I make it? Why don't we let Felicity start us off?
The biggest thing that we've tried to focus on our social media is consistency. Keep everything consistent. Don't, with your branding, don't try, I'm not saying don't branch out and try different things or different genres, because of course we want to step out of our comfort zone sometimes. When you find something that works for you, you need to stick to it. For example, Crystal and I write paranormal romance with a twist. That's on our website, it's on our logo, it's on our YouTube channel. That's what we do. Are we ever going to try to write something different? Maybe, but all of our stuff is paranormal romance with a twist. That's what we do. So just keep it consistent. Our color scheme is consistent, usually with whatever our current work is. For example, when we were publishing Spellbound, our color scheme was the dark, like the black and the blue, because that's what our cover was. When Spellbound comes out with Wattpad books, we don't know what the cover is going to look like yet. We've seen some comps, but we don't know for sure. Whenever it comes out, our color scheme will probably change a little bit to go with that, because that's going to be our focus. So just stay consistent. That is our number one tip with social media. Keep your same profile picture. Like Nikki, for example, that's her profile picture across her social media. Our profile picture is the same, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, it's the same one. Keep it consistent so that your readers know when they see it that that's you. Consistency is key. That's our number one tip.
Consistency is key. And Avery, what are some strategies that have worked for you on social media?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Felicity said, it makes a lot of sense. I think you need to think about the experience that you're offering the readers and brand kind of like according to that. So you want your branding to really align with, like, if you're a steamy author like I am, then obviously that's going to factor into like the images that you use, maybe the fonts, the teasers that you use. Like, you really want to give readers an idea of what your work is about. And yeah, like they said, like, be consistent with your colors and just kind of try to like develop a feel for it. Like they said, Nikki does a really good job with the pink and everything. So if you see like a Nikki like graphic, you're going to see it and think of Nikki's work. I think like you can't be all things in your branding, so you just need to pick. It's like how Pepsi and Coke have a logo and that is them. You really want to have something that your readers are like, oh, that's an Avery graphic or something. Like you just want to be able to evoke that recognition with all of your materials.
That makes a lot of sense. And Crystal, how would you advise our readers for succeeding on social media?
I'm going to take the consistency thing a little different, in that being that when you are posting on social media, it needs to be consistent. If you're going to be on TikTok, you should be posting anywhere from 4 to 6 times a day. And I know that's a lot. So we always challenge people to do 30 days. Give yourself 30 days to grow your TikTok by posting anywhere from 4 to 6 times a day. But the same thing with Instagram, or if you're going to do a YouTube channel, it's the same idea that we have with our stories on Wattpad. Our readers expect to see a story, a new chapter up every, Monday or Friday, whatever it is. And that's the expectation. They should have an expectation when it comes to your social media as well. So if you're going to do YouTube videos, you want to have a day that you're always pushing out that YouTube video. So there's that anticipation there for something new from you. And the same thing should go over into Instagram or whatnot. They should expect that every day I'm going to see something from Avery. Every day I'm going to see something from Nikki. Like, you should become dug into their lives. Like, you want to be in their face all the time, but with something they really love. So you want to make sure that that content that you're putting out is something that they feel they need to consume.
That's a lot of great advice. And finally, Nikki, I know everyone's been using you as a great example. Any strategies you'd like to share with their viewers for succeeding?
Yeah, thank you. I completely agree that I would say I agree that consistency is key, and that's like it's something that I totally agree with. Another tip that I have is to not be afraid to try new things, like to hop on the newest social media platform. Like if you were on TikTok really early, like it was a lot easier back then to grow. It's still very easy to grow now, but I mean, like, imagine if you were one of the first people on TikTok, So you hop on like the newest social media platforms and do things that push you out of your comfort zone. That might be a little hypocritical of me to say, as I don't show my face, but like, push yourself out of your comfort zone. For me personally, like, I tried doing YouTube read-alongs for my chapters, and I like read my chapters live, and that for me was really pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And I think like being the first one to try something new, or just like trying to shake things up a little bit, is always like a great strategy. And it might be cliche, but like on TikTok, like Crystal and Felicity were saying, like, if you can start a new trend, or try something new, I just think that that's always a great way to stand out on social media.
We thrive together.
Writers Connect, November 5th through 6th.